terrorists are located within Jammu and Kashmir. But can you tell our audiences, sir, how does the security establishment reach an estimate like that while still not knowing where those locations are? What is the process involved?
There are multiple means. Some of them can be discussed and some can only be speculated because I left army about 6 years, 7 years back. So I wouldn't know the latest techniques, but there are enough methods by picking up signals of mobile and other communication devices. There are also human intelligence which is available. There is also use of satellite imagery and drones which look across. So there are devices and we have enough sort of resources deployed on that. And what I want to tell your viewers through your channel is that see an attack like what was done by Hamas acts as some kind of domino effect. It gives that little fillip to all the groups to attempt a similar kind of thing. It sort of adds to their motivation or whatever you can say. It's a very wrong kind of motivation, but they thrive on these things. So it's time, and it's good that our agencies are keeping a watch. We must remain very careful because there are very important things which are happening in India. There are elections taking place. There is festive season which is there. There is World Cup going on. So all can be used to send a very negative kind of message about India. So I'm sure our agencies are doing good job and they are keeping a close watch on the situation. And like the previous expert was telling, drones, that's also a problem. But we also have drones, so we also use them with side-looking cameras, and we can do our own sort of estimate. So what is being said is a fairly reliable estimate, and we would also know, we would be quite certain on where their approximate launch pads are. So it's a message to them that if you think you are safe, you may be surprised. That's what I want to say.
So let me come to you very quickly with a follow-up question over here. You are saying that there are methods that the establishment does have to make sure, where the launch pads, for example, are, have estimations on where the launch pads are. Can you tell us how do they assess the current situation? As we just spoke to my colleague Anand, one of the things he pointed out was that there was a great fall in the number of locals that were participating in these efforts. Can you tell our audiences what the security establishment's current estimations are of what the situation looks like on the ground?
I wouldn't know the official line. What I know from my own assessment and reading of reports is that there is a sense of desperation amongst these tanzeems. And this is for nearly the first time that both the tanzeems have decided to work in collaboration. Otherwise, south of Pir Panjal was Lashkar operating and north used to be Jaish. Now they've decided to get together. They have difference of ideologies also. So disregarding that, they both seem to be collaborating with each other. That's why we picked up Jaish signatures in Rajouri and Dhangri and all those attacks which took place. So here there is a sense of urge to do something before the winter finally completely settles in. So that's why we have to remain careful. We can't let our guard down. And only thing is, some action may shift southwards where the winters are less severe. But I'm sure our agencies are up to it. Our troops have been sensitized to that. And we will be up to whatever challenge is being posed in front of us. But believe you me, there is a sense of desperation. There is this urge to do something because they feel situation in Valley is normalizing too fast and they are losing hold over the local population.
General, thank you for bringing us your perspective on this story. All right, let's move on now from this story to our next big story coming in from right here in the Delhi-NCR region. It's a story that if you're a resident of this region, or if you're already very aware of, the air quality continues to decline in the region over the last few days. Today, just a few hours ago, the Supreme Court came down harshly. It had critical words for Punjab, for Rajasthan, for Uttar Pradesh and for Haryana, neighbouring states of Delhi. The Supreme Court essentially held them all responsible for the current state of the air quality in the city. Now, you might already remember that an odd-even plan was put into place by the Delhi government yesterday itself. That was announced from next Monday. But if we return to what it is that the Supreme Court had to say, it rapped in particular the Punjab government for, according to it, not doing enough. It also rapped officials from the Delhi government saying that the smoke towers were not working was not good enough. The Supreme Court has said that they need to be put back into action. We'll cover that and more in just a second. First, take a look at some ground reports and some political reactions to developments within this story.
ट्रांसपोर्ट कमिश्नर, ट्रैफिक पुलिस के अधिकारी और एनवायरनमेंट विभाग के अधिकारियों के साथ हमने ऑड इवन लागू करने के लिए क्या क्या नियम होंगे वो आपको सूचित करना था। लेकिन इस बीच अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑड इवन को लेकर के कुछ ऑब्जर्वेशन हमने मीडिया में देखा है। उसके बाद अभी हमने ये निर्णय लिया है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर आने के बाद एक बार हम उसको स्टडी करेंगे, या जो ऑर्डर में सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्देश आएगा उसको फिर इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हुए उसके अनुसार हम अपनी योजना को बनाएंगे।
इसमें पूरी इस राजनीति को हस्तक्षेप जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने चिंता जाहिर किया है, ये बहुत ही वाजिब है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का चिंता स्वाभाविक है और जो उन्होंने सलाह दी है कि इस पर कहीं भी राजनीति ना होना चाहिए और पराली तुरंत जल्द बंद होना चाहिए, ये स्पष्ट दिशा निर्देश हम लोगों ने इस आशय का जारी भी किया है। ग्रेड 4 जब जारी किया है, ग्रेड 4 ना जारी किया है, उसमें भी हर प्रकार की चीज़ों का उल्लेख हम लोगों ने कर दिया है। मैं केजरीवाल जी से कहूँगा कि इस पर राजनीतिक नौटंकी जो करना है वो नहीं होनी चाहिए। आप वो राजनीतिक नौटंकी में बड़े माहिर हैं, इसलिए ये दिल्ली सरकार ने भी आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी कहा है इस पर कोई राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए।
अब तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की इस फटकार के बाद कम से कम आम आदमी पार्टी को दिल्ली की जनता से माफी मांगनी चाहिए और केंद्र पर, यूपी पर, हरियाणा पर प्रदूषण का दोष डालना बंद करना चाहिए और अपनी जो जिम्मेदारी है उसको उठाना चाहिए। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जो तल्ख टिप्पणियां आई है पंजाब की पराली को लेकर और जिस प्रकार से दिल्ली गैस चेंबर बन चुकी है, उसको लेकर आज स्पष्ट है कि आम आदमी पार्टी पूर्ण तरीके से विफल रही है और उन्हीं के कारण आज दिल्ली गैस चेंबर बन चुकी है। पूरी दुनिया में सबसे प्रदूषित राजधानी है। 999 भी पहुंच चुका है AQI इंडेक्स। कुछ जगहों पर लगातार 5-6 दिन से सीवियर कैटेगरी में रहा है और दिल्ली गैस चेंबर बन चुकी है।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट पहले दिल्ली का तो पोल्यूशन खत्म कर दे, वो हरियाणा का तो पोल्यूशन खत्म कर दे। यार इतनी दूर दिल्ली कैसे पोल्यूशन चला गया? पहले केंद्रीय जो केजरीवाल था वो हमें बदनाम करता रहा, जब उनकी गवर्नमेंट बन गई पंजाब में पोल्यूशन खत्म। ये सोचने की बात है और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का ये फर्ज बनता है कि पंजाब एक अन्नदाता स्टेट है। जब पूरे देश में अन्न नहीं था, अनाज नहीं था, पंजाब के किसानों ने, बहादुरों ने एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी बनाई, वहां से इन्होंने पूरे देश को अनाज जो है वो पैदा करके दिया। आज उनके ऊपर यार आरोप लगा रहे हो।
देखिए, आम पार्टी का जो लक्ष्य है खाली भ्रष्टाचार करना, लोगों की जनता की नज़रों में धूल झोंकने का काम है। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो निर्णय लिया है साफ साफ दिखाई देता है, पंजाब के कारण दिल्ली तक का पॉल्यूशन फैल रहा है और ये उस पर राजनीति कर रहे हैं और दिल्ली के अंदर कहते हैं कि पंजाब के अंदर पॉल्यूशन नहीं है। या इनको बताना चाहिए कि जो आपने केमिकल बनाए थे जिसके कारण से प्रणाली का सब्स्टिट्यूट था, उस पर करोड़ों रुपया खर्च किया, क्या उसके लिए माफ़ी मांगेंगे आप? देश की जनता और दिल्ली और पंजाब की जनता में जो धूल झोंक रहे हैं, मैं उनके निर्णय का, कोर्ट के निर्णय का स्वागत करता हूं। इनको सस्पेंड कर देना चाहिए, बर्खास्त कर देना चाहिए। अगर ये इसको किस प्रकार से इन्होंने नियोजित कर कर इस पोल्यूशन को कम करने का काम किया है, इनको कोर्ट को भी बताना चाहिए और उसके परिणाम किस प्रकार से हैं उसके बारे में भी उनको समीक्षा करनी चाहिए।
देखिए, दिल्ली पुलिस हो, एमसीडी हो, दिल्ली सरकार हो, हम सबका जॉइंट एफर्ट है। हम सबको मिलजुल के पोल्यूशन की लड़ाई को लड़ना है। और रही बात स्मोक टावर्स की, तो मुझे कल ही पता लगा एक शायद वर्किंग नहीं था और उसको ठीक कर दिया गया है और वो पूरी तरह से काम कर रहा है। तो एमसीडी भी अपना पूरा काम कर रही है, दिल्ली सरकार भी पूरा काम कर रही है और मैं दिल्ली पुलिस के भी गुजारिश करूंगी कि अपनी भी पूरी जिम्मेदारी समझते हुए पोल्यूशन की इस लड़ाई में हमारा साथ दें।
Okay, we're switching focus now to a different story altogether. After a video went viral that claimed to represent an actor, it was in fact a digitally altered video of an influencer instead. The question of deep fakes is once again being talked about. We do have a government response that is coming from the Union Minister, Rajiv Chandrasekhar. I'll share his message with you right now. But essentially the government has in two sets, A, an advisory and secondly a statement that's just come out, reminded audiences and reminded social media platforms of the punishment that comes with circulating deepfake videos. It's a 3-year imprisonment or 1 lakh rupee fine that can be imposed. Now, my colleague Payal is with us right now to tell us more about what the Union Minister of State, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, had to say. Payal, can you spotlight the exact statement that Rajiv Chandrasekhar made, please?
The most important fact is that he said that all those people who have been impacted by such fake videos being circulated are encouraged to basically go and file an FIR under the nearest in the nearest police station, and also take shelter of the IT intermediary guidelines that are available to the public. Rajiv Chandrasekhar once again highlighting one very, very important aspect, that to make the internet free, to make the internet safe, that's the commitment of the Narendra Modi government. And in regards to that, they've once again reiterated and sent the advisory to all the intermediaries to abide by the guidelines, which means that they need to make sure that such content which is fake in nature needs to be removed with immediate effect, and all appropriate action, including trailing the originality of the video, etc., is the responsibility of the intermediary. Failing this, intermediary is likely to face action against Indian laws.
Okay, and Payal, can you tell us, in the context of situations wherein one video is circulated on multiple different social media platforms, what will be the process that will be followed through?
Well, like I said, that Ashwini Vaishnav told us earlier that they have in fact asked, they sent a notice to all the intermediaries asking them to take immediate action as far as that is concerned. So they basically asked the intermediaries to make sure that they remove the videos to begin with, and all the appropriate guidelines will have to be followed as well. Failing which, there is an immunity which every intermediary enjoys under the guidelines that they've actually all agreed to abide by, and failing which they will be in fact liable for further punishment.
Okay, Payal, thank you for bringing us that context. It's time right now for a short break. On the other side, in just a few minutes, we continue to bring you all of the country's top stories. This is The Nation at 5.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents CNN News 18 Indian of the Year 2023. And the nominees for the sports category are Sunil Chhetri, Shubman Gill, Nikhat Zareen, Satwik and Chirag, Neeraj Chopra. Vote now on www.indianoftheyear.com and choose the Indians conquering the world.
Motorola has
a lot of deliberation is onto the fact that how there are several factors that are contributing to the pollution levels in the national capital. Once again, if I can show you the view, there you see people have come here for the morning walk, in fact for the cycling, but as of now, because of the pollution problem, It, in fact, experts say that this condition is very dangerous, very harmful for not only those who have some sort of respiratory disease or respiratory problem, but also for those who are healthy people. As of now, everyone is looking forward to all these steps taken by the government, because people here in the national capital are waiting for some sort of relief, that they are looking forward to government that they will take some sort of step, and after that Delhi will get some sort of relief from this particular pollution problem. I'm joined by a group here at India Gate who has come a long way from Pune to Delhi. आप लोग मुझे बताइए, साइकिल से आए हैं पुणे से दिल्ली तक, और दिल्ली में तो प्रदूषण है, तो किस तरह से अब आगे देख रहे हैं और क्या कुछ कहना चाहेंगे इस पूरे कहें कि जो कंडीशन बन गई राजधानी की?
इधर तो हवामान बहुत खराब है, हमारे उधर महाराष्ट्र में पोल्यूशन नहीं इतना बहुत ज़्यादा है
महाराष्ट्र, लेकिन अभी तो महाराष्ट्र में भी एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स बढ़ने लग गया है।
हमारे उधर अच्छा है, इससे
बेटर है।
इससे बेटर।
क्या आपको लगता है कौन जिम्मेदार है इस समस्या के लिए, इस परेशानी के लिए कौन जिम्मेदार है? सरकारों की जिम्मेदारी है या फिर ये लोग जिम्मेदार है?
नहीं सर जी।
हाँ, कौन जिम्मेदार?
इसके लिए किसी एक को जिम्मेदार नहीं ठहरा सकते, इंडस्ट्री तो है ही, लेकिन हम आम लोग भी इसमें जिम्मेदार है। जैसे कि हम गाड़ियाँ ले रहे, गाड़ियाँ भगा रहे रोड के ऊपर, थोड़ा भी अगर चलना होगा तो हम गाड़ी लेके चलते हैं। इससे अच्छा है हम थोड़ा सा साइकिल का भी उपयोग करें, जैसे कि हम लोग अभी पिछले 4 साल से कर रहे हैं। कोरोना में जब फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन हुआ था उस टाइम पे हमने साइकिल चालू की थी, लेकिन कोरोना में जितने भी बीमारियां हो गई उसमें हम में से कोई 10-12 लोग हैं, इसमें से कोई भी इतना बीमार नहीं हुआ उसके बाद, और तब से हमने जो साइकिल चालू की, अभी 4 साल से पिछले साइकिल चला रही है।
पिछले साल हम बालाजी की राइड किए और इस साल 1,500 किलोमीटर चला के।
नहीं, साइकिल आप चला रहे हैं सेहत के लिए, लेकिन उसी सेहत के लिए बहुत बड़ा खतरा है ये पोल्यूशन। आप जो एक्सपर्ट हैं वो तमाम लोग सलाह देते हैं कि बाहर ना निकलें। आप साइकिल तो बेशक सेहत के लिए चला रहे हैं, लेकिन जितना सेहत के बचाव के लिए काम कर रहे हैं उतना ही सेहत खराब हो रही है बाहर।
नहीं, वो तो है, लेकिन साइकिल चलाना हमारा रोज का ही मकसद है।
अच्छा, आप लोग अलग अलग काम
साइकिल चलाते हैं ना, तो साइकिल के वजह से हमको प्रदूषण का ज्यादा प्रभाव हम पर नहीं पड़ता है।
अच्छा,
क्योंकि हमारा ताकत बढ़ गया है। हाँ। साइकिल चलाने।
बेशक साइकिल चलाना अच्छी बात है, लेकिन मेरा दरअसल सवाल ये है कि साइकिल तो आप अपने कहें कि सेहत के ध्यान में रखते हुए चला रहे हैं, लेकिन उसी सेहत पे कहें कि कितना बड़ा खतरा है ये प्रदूषण, उसके बारे में बताइए, उसके विषय में बताइए।
अभी ये हुआ ही कि इसमें से ये जो प्रदूषण हो रहा है ना, इसमें से जो छोटे बच्चे उनके ऊपर ज़्यादा इसका इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है। जैसे कि आप देखें कि अभी दिल्ली में, हम महाराष्ट्र से दिल्ली आ गए, महाराष्ट्र में कम था। हम मानते हैं कि मुंबई पुणे में ज़्यादा हो सकता है, लेकिन जो हम एरिया में रहते हैं, विलेजेस में रहते हैं, वहाँ पे प्रदूषण कम है, और यहाँ पे आने के बाद हमें पता चला कि दिल्ली में इतना प्रदूषण होता है। फर्स्ट
राजनीति भी हो रही है, जो बीजेपी और आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार हैं वो एक दूसरे पर आरोप प्रत्यारोप कर रही हैं और एक दूसरे को जिम्मेदार ठहरा रही हैं। आपको क्या लगता है, क्या ये सही है? राजनीति होनी चाहिए प्रदूषण की, कम से कम ऐसी समस्या जिससे कहें कि पॉलिटिशियंस भी प्रभावित हैं, उन लोगों के परिवार और वो लोग भी प्रभावित हो रहे हैं। आपको लगता है कि राजनीति ठीक है?
नहीं, राजनीति इस मैटर में ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि हम सब लोगों को एक साथ जुड़ के इससे सामना करना चाहिए। अगर हम एक दूसरे को कोसते रहेंगे और एक दूसरे के ऊपर ये जिम्मेदारियां डालते रहेंगे तो ये कभी ठीक नहीं होगा। अगर ये सरकार बोल रही है, अगर बीजेपी वाले आम आदमी को बोल रहे हैं और आम आदमी वाले बीजेपी को बोल रहे हैं ना, तो ये सोल्यूशन कभी नहीं निकलेगा। हम हर एक को एक साथ खड़े रह के हमें ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना।
With pollution levels lingering in the severe category, Delhi is struggling for fresh air. I'm standing at Kartavya Path and behind me is the iconic India Gate. This spot has become a prominent spot to check the visibility, and as of today we have a better visibility. You can see India Gate in the backdrop, where you are able to see India Gate from 200 meters, but on the other side we have Rashtrapati Bhavan. In fact, this is the Kartavya Path, and in fact you can get an idea of the visibility that Rashtrapati Bhavan, which in general days is visible from this particular spot, is invisible today. And in fact, when we talk about the conditions in the national capital, so we know that how the 4th level of graded response action plan has been invoked. Several sort of measures, several sort of steps have been taken by the state governments. In fact, schools have been shut and all other things. In fact, yesterday, Environment Minister of Delhi announced that how Delhi is going to implement odd and even scheme for the vehicles here. After that, a lot of deliberation is onto the fact that how there are several factors that are contributing to the pollution levels in the national capital. Once again, if I can show you the view There you see people have come here for the morning walk, in fact for the cycling, but as of now, because of the pollution problem, in fact experts say that this condition is very dangerous, very harmful for not only those who have some sort of respiratory disease or respiratory problem, but also for those who are healthy people. As of now, everyone is looking forward to all these steps taken by the government, because people here in the national capital are waiting for some sort of relief, that they are looking forward to government that they will take some sort of step, and after that Delhi will get some sort of relief from this particular pollution problem. I'm joined by a group here at India Gate who has come a long way from Pune to Delhi. आप लोग मुझे बताइए, साइकिल से आए हैं पुणे से दिल्ली तक, और दिल्ली में तो प्रदूषण है, तो किस तरह से अब आगे देख रहे हैं और क्या कुछ कहना चाहेंगे इस पूरे कहें कि जो कंडीशन बन गई है राजधानी की?
इधर तो हवामान बहुत खराब है, हमारे उधर महाराष्ट्र में पोल्यूशन नहीं इतना बहुत ज़्यादा है
महाराष्ट्र, लेकिन अभी तो महाराष्ट्र में भी एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स बढ़ने लग गया है।
नहीं, हमारे उधर अच्छा है, इससे
बेटर है।
इससे बेटर।
क्या आपको लगता है कौन जिम्मेदार है इस समस्या के लिए, इस परेशानी के लिए कौन जिम्मेदार है? सरकारों की जिम्मेदारी है या फिर ये लोग जिम्मेदार है?
नहीं सर जी।
हाँ, कौन जिम्मेदार?
इसके लिए किसी एक को जिम्मेदार नहीं ठहरा सकते, इंडस्ट्री तो है ही, लेकिन हम आम लोग भी इसमें जिम्मेदार है। जैसे कि हम गाड़ियाँ ले रहे, गाड़ियाँ भगा रहे रोड के ऊपर, थोड़ा भी अगर चलना होगा तो हम गाड़ी लेके चलते हैं। इससे अच्छा है हम थोड़ा सा साइकिल का भी उपयोग करें, जैसे कि हम लोग अभी पिछले 4 साल से कर रहे हैं। कोरोना में जब फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन हुआ था उस टाइम पे हमने साइकिल।
Welcome back. This is The Nation at 5 right here on CNN News 18. Our next story takes you to UB in California, a small town where you have 300,000 Sikhs who gather every year for a Sikh Nagar Kirtan that takes place. This is believed to be the second largest gathering of the Sikh community, the largest outside of India itself that takes place. We're going to go over it right now to cover a particular incident that took place at this Sikh Nagar Kirtan event. Reports are indicating to us that two groups from within the event actually clashed. This was after the Sikhs for Justice group announced that they would hold another referendum, this time an American one, in the beginning of January. Now, it's believed that the clash was related to that. However, we'll have a reporter join us in just a few minutes to bring us confirmations in terms of exactly what took place. Now, this area in California is an area that has a Sikh population that's been there since the 1980s. Recently, law enforcement officials have arrested 17 members of different rival Sikh syndicates. They've talked about the increased problem that exists, the security problem that exists within these communities. Now, that's a recent update that's just taken place. The event that we're talking about, as we've already told you, is a Sikh Nagar Kirtan. The one that took place this year was the 44th. Next year, the gathering is expected to be extra large when it is the 45th. Now, we're showing you right now on the screen behind me visuals that are coming in. As you can see on the right side of your screens, these are visuals coming in from Yuba in California, where that gathering actually took place. As we've already told you, this was at the 44th annual Nagar Kirtan event, the Sikh Nagar Kirtan event that takes place. Now, estimates for how many people were there vary. As you can see, 200,000 to 300,000 is actually the estimated number of people that were gathered there. Now, my colleague Abhishek is on the phone to bring us more details. Abhishek, we've told our audiences about the Sikhs for Justice announcement. Can you tell our audiences, though, how is it related to what took place in the rally? I know, for example, that there are reports that an aeroplane actually flew over the gathering of people. It had a sign attached to it. Can you bring us more details about what actually took place at the event?
Well, we have seen Khalistani activists creating scene or coming up with referendum and all sort of anti-India rhetorics and propaganda. But this was a unique opportunity where the Khalistani factions fought among themselves only. This has happened at, as you told, at the 44th annual Nagar Kirtan event that was being held in Yuba city, and about 2 lakh people. That was the kind of strength that crowd had, and in that crowd only, we could see videos and footages that have emerged where dozens of people from both sides could be seen fighting with sticks and verbally abusing each other, and that is mostly to have a dominant faction over the entire Khalistani propaganda that these groups are trying to create. Largely speaking, the diaspora, the Sikh diaspora, are not appreciating these activities of some of the people, some of the fringe elements who are trying to tarnish the image of the entire community in the name of Khalistan, and They do not have a wider, people base, but they do try to create antics through social media posts and through major events where they try to sabotage some community event of Indian communities or Hindus, temples being desecrated in the recent past that we have seen. These are incidents just to try to showcase that Khalistani movement are everywhere and they have huge support. But the ground reality is that they do not have unity among themselves only. So this was a very blatant exposure in terms of the unity that is clearly dividing, especially in the recent months. We have seen multiple terrorists from the factions being killed or having been eliminated. It looks like the steam of the entire movement or the propaganda that was based on anti-India rhetoric is losing very, very fastly.
Can you tell our audiences, Abhishek, now about the size of the SFJ movement, if there is a size to talk about at all in Yuba City? Because we've previously discussed Canada in quite a bit of detail. But in America, in California, what is the kind of support, if any, that this group receives?
Well, the Yuba Sikh Nagar Kirtan is a regular every year annual event that the Sikh community try to celebrate peace, harmony, and their group also. But the large diaspora that is part of social, political, and economical aspect of the U.S. society, it does not attribute or does not feel comfortable with the Khalistani movement. And this is what has happened at this Yuba Nagar Kirtan event also, where there are reports and there are videos also which can easily show the helicopters flying with a banner with the written text of Delhi will be Khalistan. This has been the anti-India sentiment that these groups are trying to propagate among the Sikh community members, which of course is not finding a lot of base and support. And probably that frustration is emanating from the group's activities. We have seen SFJ's chief Pannu also releasing a statement recently where he has said that after 19th of November flight.
Can I just ask you, Abhishek, to wait with us? We have a guest, an expert who's with us right now, former diplomat J.K. Tripathi, who's with us right now on the show. Good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us here on CNN News 18. Sir, if I may ask you, this story that we're talking about, it's one we're sharing with our audiences just one day after we highlighted a different, particularly important story. You had the SFJ chief issue a warning to Sikhs across the world in video format. He essentially told them not to ride or board a plane of Air India on November 19th. Sir, combining that incident with this incident, how do you look at the SFJ's recent movements, the recent developments concerning them?
You see, SFJ is out and out a Khalistani outfit, and they have, as Pannu had already been saying, that they will plan to start or accelerate the subversive activities in India. And 19th November, I've been flying out on Air India in 19th November. You know, 19th November sounds some bells. 19th November was the birthday of Mrs. Gandhi,
right?
Mrs. Indira Gandhi. And and they accuse Indira Gandhi of killing Khalistani movement. And that's why he has warned that there would be some supportive activity, and that's why Sikhs should not fly there. So it's a sort of threat in disguise by SFJ, and this calls for added security measures on all Air India flights emanating from Canada or US or UK even, because this is very, very serious thing which government should. And I think the news that there had been clashes between the two groups of Khalistani Sikhs is a welcome news for us.
Okay.
That shows that there had been cracks. Cracks are visible in Khalistani movement. And that also means that finally some of the elements in Khalistani movement are perhaps realizing that it is futile to fight against the Indian government because public sentiment is against them.
Mr. Tripathi,
So
thank you
that's
for joining us this evening and providing us with your expertise on this story. Okay, we're going to go back to my colleague Abhishek, who's also with us, providing us with context on this story in particular. Can you tell us, or can you tell our audiences, Abhishek, we just touched on the big story we reported yesterday, also related very much to the SFJ, the Air India warning that was put out by Panoon yesterday, where he essentially told Sikhs across the world not to board an Air India plane. Can you tell our audiences, Abhishek, behind the scenes, what was the Ministry of Aviation's response to that? All right, I think we've lost my colleague Abhishek. We'll hope to re-establish that connection in just a little while. Remember the story that took place yesterday. What exactly was that? Let's take a look. You essentially had the SFJ chief, Gurpatwant Singh Panoon, issue a statement. And this is a statement he made via video. He put out a statement in which he said that all Sikhs should stay away from boarding an Air India plane on November 19th. Now, remember, that date is important for two reasons in particular. Number one, as we just had our guest point out, it is the birthday of the former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi. But it is also important because it's when the ICC World Cup final will be taking place. It's believed that for that reason this date was selected because of the kind of attention that date receives. We talk a little bit more about the security establishment's reaction to it. We'll also take a deeper dive into this story itself. We're playing out visuals for you right now that are coming in from the UB region in California. This is where today's story is focused. It's in UB in California, where 300,000 people came together this year itself to celebrate, as we're already telling you, a Sikh Nagar Kirtan. Now, it's at the Sikh Nagar Kirtan that this clash took place. Two opposing groups clashed with each other. Both groups are believed to have associations with SFJ. Now, we're shifting focus right now. As you remember, 5 states are heading into elections. One today, Mizoram saw elections, Chhattisgarh saw phase 1. We're taking you to Telangana. Okay, these visuals coming in right now from Hyderabad, where the Prime Minister is, I believe, addressing a rally in just a few minutes from now. Take a look. Payal is with us right now to bring us more context on this entire story. I believe, Payal, the particularly important news we're sharing with our audiences is that Pawan Kalyan is going to be sharing the stage with the Prime Minister in just a little while from now. Pawan Kalyan, obviously a hugely popular actor, also someone whose party and which way his party's loyalties would fall in this election. That was the big question going in. Now we're going to see him sharing the stage in just a few minutes. Give our audiences more context, please, Payal.
Well, as far as Pawan Kalyan is concerned, Pawan Kalyan, remember, influences the voters were the votes around, the Khammam and the Hyderabad region, and he already is in an alliance with the BJP in Andhra Pradesh. He also had a meeting with Union Minister Amit Shah a week or something ago, which the information for which we really broke today. We broke, a short while ago. And the fact that Pawan Kalyan's party will be announcing 8 candidates today and the 9th one is still being discussed tells you that Pawan Kalyan has in fact put his weight behind the BJP. As far as the Telangana elections are concerned, he's a huge movie star. He's extremely popular and has a lot of influence over the votes of the youngsters. So that's something that the BJP is hoping. And he's going to be addressing a very important sabha. Remember, he's going to address the BC Samaj that Vivan is speaking about. Again, a very, very important aspect as far as the Telangana state is concerned. A lot of OBC candidates have been tweeted by the BJP in Telangana, which includes Bandi Sanjay, Arvind, Dharmapuri amongst the others as well. And Amit Shah, just a few weeks ago when he had gone to Telangana, had said that if the BJP comes to power, then the next chief minister will be an OBC chief minister. So taking forward from there, of course, the BJP trying to showcase its power and might in the southern state. That they're hoping that at least Telangana will open the gate for them as far as the southern politics is concerned, because after having lost the elections recently in Karnataka, their score in the south of India stands at 0.
Okay, Payal, I think we've actually lost our connection with you. We'll try to re-establish that connection with my colleague Payal. I believe my colleague Swastika is also with us to provide us moment-by-moment updates of all of the visuals you're seeing on your screen right now. Let's go over to her to understand more here. Swastika, can you give our audiences more context of what the Jana Sena party has stood for over the last few years? We were just talking about them in the context of Andhra Pradesh. In the context of Telangana and Telangana's elections, what does this alliance mean?
Well, first things first is that because of the campaign trail that Prime Minister is undergoing here, there's a lot of music. Prime Minister right now is taking he's doing a short road show flying inside the LB Stadium. He's been given a rousing reception by the BJP Karyakartas and the gatherings of OBC community leaders who come here especially to have a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Significantly, this is also the first joint meeting of the BJP and Jana Sena, which has in fact tied up for the Telangana elections as well. Jana Sena is likely to get anywhere between 9 to 11 seats as we've been reporting consistently. But what is really playing out on the screen right now is Prime Minister Narendra Modi receiving a rousing reception here in Hyderabad LB Stadium, where he's being showered with flower petals. You can see Prime Minister being accompanied by BJP State Chief T.K. Reddy. Bandi Sanjay is of course there, a very prominent leader of the BJP here in Telangana, Munur Kapu leader as well. Then you also have Itala Rajendra, who's going to take on Prime Minister, who's going to take on the KCR at his constituency, Kajwel. Right now, you can see fans in fact walking towards Prime Minister's convoy there. He's on an open field. He's being showered with flower petals. The Prime Minister in his inimitable style, waving at his supporters here who gathered at LB Stadium as they patiently waiting to get a glimpse of Prime Minister. And for the fans, really, this is a double treat because you also have Pawan Kalyan trying to stay with the Prime Minister here. And any moment from now, the Prime Minister will be in fact making a symbolic gesture to the supporters here, announcing his formal alliance with the Jana Sena, which is going to fight the elections here in Telangana with them. You asked me about the specific focus of today's meeting. This is BJP's PC Darjana Sabha. This is an outreach to the backward class leaders. Assumes a lot of significance because Amit Shah, remember, made an open declaration that if voted to power, the BJP will have its first PC leader as the Chief Minister of the state. So far, Telangana, or in fact for that matter, United Andhra Pradesh has not had a BC leader become Chief Minister of the state. So this is a very big poll promise that the BJP has made, and it is certainly expected to galvanize a lot of momentum for them on the ground. So yeah.
Okay, can you also tell our audiences over here, Swastika, some reports have pointed out that when it comes to BJP leaders coming to Telangana to actually campaign, apart from Prime Minister Modi, some state leaders fearing rout have shown hesitancy in going out and campaigning. Are those reports accurate?
For now, all of that, safe to say, has been weeded out because the BJP, remember, has so far given a list of 100 candidates. And they have in fact given maximum representation to the OBC community, which so far no other party has done. They've also been a party which has given maximum representation to the women candidates as well. And this comes in the backdrop of the women reservation bill being passed in the parliament. So symbolically, the BJP sticking to its ideology. And remember, the larger focus point here is that their outreach is to the OBC community. And why this community is significant? Because 52% of Telangana's population, as per the 2011 census, comprises the OBC population. And that's why we are expected to see some big sweeping announcements being made by the Prime Minister here in his first mega rally in Battleground Telangana, which is set to go to polls in the next 2 weeks. And that's why what is also important is that the Prime Minister today is...
Swastika, we will have to return to you. My colleague Swastika providing us with moment-by-moment updates from the ground, from the state of Telangana, heading into elections in just a few days from now. Will there be anti-incumbency, a relatively new state only ruled by the BRS so far? We'll head into a short break. On the other side, this and more. This is The Nation at 5.
Gopal
लेकिन कोरोना में जितने भी बीमारियां हो गई उसमें हम में से कोई 10-12 लोग गए, इसमें से कोई भी इतना बीमार नहीं हुआ उसके बाद। और तब से हमने जो साइकिल चालू की, अभी 4 साल से पिछले साइकिल चला रही है।
पिछले साल हम बालाजी की राइड किए और इस साल 1500 किलोमीटर चला के।
नहीं, साइकिल आप चला रहे हैं सेहत के लिए, लेकिन उसी सेहत के लिए बहुत बड़ा खतरा है ये पोल्यूशन। आप जो एक्सपर्ट हैं वो तमाम लोग सलाह देते हैं कि बाहर ना निकलें। आप साइकिल तो बेशक सेहत के लिए चला रहे हैं, लेकिन जितना सेहत के बचाव के लिए काम कर रहे हैं उतना ही सेहत खराब हो रही है बाहर।
नहीं, वो तो है, लेकिन साइकिल चलाना हमारा रोज का ही है, मकसद है।
अच्छा, आप लोग अलग अलग काम
साइकिल चलाते हैं ना, तो साइकिल के वजह से हमको प्रदूषण का ज्यादा प्रभाव हम पर नहीं पड़ता है।
अच्छा,
क्योंकि हमारा ताकत बढ़ गया है साइकिल चलाने।
बेशक साइकिल चलाना अच्छी बात है, लेकिन मेरा दरअसल सवाल ये है कि साइकिल तो आप अपने कहीं की सेहत के ध्यान में रखते हुए चला रहे हैं, लेकिन उसी सेहत पे कहें कि कितना बड़ा खतरा है ये प्रदूषण, उसके बारे में बताइए, उसके विषय में बताइए।
अभी ये हुआ ही कि इसमें से ये जो प्रदूषण हो रहा है ना, इसमें से जो छोटे बच्चे उनके ऊपर ज़्यादा इसका इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है। जैसे कि आप देखें कि अभी दिल्ली में, हम महाराष्ट्र से दिल्ली आ गए, महाराष्ट्र में कम था। हम मानते हैं कि मुंबई पुणे में ज़्यादा हो सकता है, लेकिन जो हम एरिया में रहते हैं, विलेजेस में रहते हैं, वहाँ पे प्रदूषण कम है। और यहाँ पे आने के बाद हमें पता चला कि दिल्ली में इतना प्रदूषण होता है। फर्स्ट
राजनीति भी हो रही है, जो बीजेपी और आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार हैं वो एक दूसरे पर आरोप प्रत्यारोप कर रही हैं और एक दूसरे को जिम्मेदार ठहरा रही हैं। आपको क्या लगता है, क्या ये सही है? राजनीति होनी चाहिए प्रदूषण की, कम से कम ऐसी समस्या जिससे कहें कि अब पॉलिटिशियंस भी प्रभावित हैं, उन लोगों के परिवार और वो लोग भी प्रभावित हो रहे हैं। आपको लगता है कि राजनीति ठीक है?
नहीं, राजनीति इस मैटर में ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि हम सब लोगों को एक साथ जुड़ के इससे सामना करना चाहिए। अगर हम एक दूसरे को कोसते रहेंगे और एक दूसरे के ऊपर ये जिम्मेदारियां डालते रहेंगे तो ये कभी ठीक नहीं होगा। अगर ये सरकार बोल रही है, अगर बीजेपी वाले आम आदमी को बोल रहे हैं और आम आदमी वाले बीजेपी को बोल रहे हैं ना, तो ये सोल्यूशन कभी नहीं निकलेगा। हम हर एक को एक साथ खड़े रह के हमें ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना।
With pollution levels lingering in the severe category, Delhi is struggling for fresh air. I'm standing at Kartavya Path and behind me is the iconic India Gate. This spot has become a prominent spot to check the visibility, and as of today we have a better visibility. You can see India Gate in the backdrop, where you are able to see India Gate from 200 meters, but on the other side we have Rashtrapati Bhavan. In fact, this is the Kartavya Path, and in fact you can get an idea of the visibility that Rashtrapati Bhavan, which in general days is visible from this particular spot, is invisible today. And in fact, when we talk about the conditions in the national capital, so we know that how the 4th level of graded response action plan has been invoked. Several sort of measures, several sort of steps have been taken by the state governments. In fact, schools have been shut and all other things. In fact, yesterday, Environment Minister of Delhi announced that how Delhi is going to implement odd and even scheme for the vehicles here. After that, a lot of deliberation is onto the fact that how there are several factors that are contributing to the pollution levels in the national capital. Once again, if I can show you the view, there you see people have come here for the morning walk, in fact for the cycling, but as of now, because of the pollution problem, in fact experts say that this condition is very dangerous, very harmful for not only those who have some sort of respiratory disease or respiratory problem, but also for those who are healthy people. As of now, everyone is looking forward to all these steps taken by the government, because people here in the national capital are waiting for some sort of relief, that they are looking forward to government that they will take some sort of step, and after that Delhi will get some sort of relief from this particular pollution problem. I'm joined by a group here at India Gate who has come a long way from Pune to Delhi. आप लोग मुझे बताइए, साइकिल से आए हैं पुणे से दिल्ली तक, और दिल्ली में तो प्रदूषण है, तो किस तरह से अब आगे देख रहे हैं और क्या कुछ कहना चाहेंगे इस पूरे कहें कि जो कंडीशन बन गई राजधानी की?
इधर तो हवामान बहुत खराब है। हमारे उधर महाराष्ट्र में पोल्यूशन नहीं है इतना बहुत ज़्यादा है
महाराष्ट्र, लेकिन अभी तो महाराष्ट्र में भी एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स बढ़ने लग गया है।
हमारे उधर अच्छा है, इससे
बेटर है।
इससे बेटर।
क्या आपको लगता है कौन जिम्मेदार है इस समस्या के लिए, इस परेशानी के लिए कौन जिम्मेदार है? सरकारों की जिम्मेदारी है या फिर ये लोग जिम्मेदार है?
नहीं सर जी।
हाँ, कौन जिम्मेदार?
इसके लिए किसी एक को जिम्मेदार नहीं ठहरा सकते। इंडस्ट्री तो है ही, लेकिन हम आम लोग भी इसमें जिम्मेदार है। जैसे कि हम गाड़ियाँ ले रहे, गाड़ियाँ भगा रहे रोड के ऊपर, थोड़ा भी अगर चलना होगा तो हम गाड़ी लेके चलते हैं। इससे अच्छा है हम थोड़ा सा साइकिल का भी उपयोग करें, जैसे कि हम लोग अभी पिछले 4 साल से कर रहे हैं। कोरोना में जब फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन हुआ था उस टाइम पे हमने साइकिल चालू की थी, लेकिन कोरोना में जितने भी बीमारियां हो गई उसमें हम में से कोई 10-12 लोग हैं, इसमें से कोई भी इतना बीमार नहीं हुआ उसके बाद। और तब से हमने जो साइकिल चालू की, अभी 4 साल से पिछले साइकिल चला रही है।
पिछले साल हम बालाजी की राइड किए और इस साल 1,500 किलोमीटर चला के।
नहीं, साइकिल आप चला रहे हैं सेहत के लिए, लेकिन उसी सेहत के लिए बहुत बड़ा खतरा है ये पोल्यूशन। आप जो एक्सपर्ट हैं वो तमाम लोग सलाह देते हैं कि बाहर ना निकलें। आप साइकिल तो बेशक सेहत के लिए चला रहे हैं, लेकिन जितना सेहत के बचाव के लिए काम कर रहे हैं उतना ही सेहत खराब हो रही है बाहर।
नहीं वो तो है, लेकिन साइकिल चलाना हमारा रोज का ही मकसद है।
अच्छा, आप लोग अलग अलग काम
साइकिल चलाते हैं ना, तो साइकिल के वजह से हमको प्रदूषण का ज्यादा प्रभाव हम पर नहीं पड़ता है।
अच्छा,
क्योंकि हमारा ताकत बढ़ गया है।
हाँ।
साइकिल चलाने।
बेशक साइकिल चलाना अच्छी बात है, लेकिन मेरा दरअसल सवाल ये है कि साइकिल तो आप अपने कहीं की सेहत के ध्यान में रखते हुए चला रहे हैं, लेकिन उसी सेहत पे कहीं कि कितना बड़ा खतरा है ये प्रदूषण, उसके बारे में बताइए, उसके विषय में बताइए।
अभी ये हुआ ही कि इसमें से ये जो प्रदूषण हो रहा है ना, इसमें से जो छोटे बच्चे हैं उनके ऊपर ज़्यादा इसका इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है। जैसे कि आप देखें कि अभी दिल्ली में, हम महाराष्ट्र से दिल्ली आ गए, महाराष्ट्र में कम था। हम मानते हैं कि मुंबई पुणे में ज़्यादा हो सकता है, लेकिन जो हम एरिया में रहते हैं, विलेजेस में रहते हैं, वहाँ पे प्रदूषण कम है। और यहाँ पे आने के बाद हमें पता चला कि दिल्ली में इतना प्रदूषण होता है। फर्स्ट
राजनीति भी हो रही है। जो बीजेपी और आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार हैं वो एक दूसरे पर आरोप प्रत्यारोप कर रही हैं और एक दूसरे को जिम्मेदार ठहरा रही हैं। आपको क्या लगता है, क्या ये सही है? राजनीति होनी चाहिए प्रदूषण की, कम से कम ऐसी समस्या जिससे कहें कि अब पॉलिटिशियंस भी प्रभावित हैं, उन लोगों के परिवार और वो लोग भी प्रभावित हो रहे हैं। आपको लगता है कि राजनीति ठीक है?
नहीं, राजनीति इस मैटर में ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि हम सब लोगों को एक साथ जुड़ के इससे सामना करना चाहिए। अगर हम एक दूसरे को कोसते रहेंगे और एक दूसरे के ऊपर ये जिम्मेदारियां डालते रहेंगे तो ये कभी ठीक नहीं होगा। अगर ये सरकार बोल रही है, अगर बीजेपी वाले आम आदमी को बोल रहे हैं और आम आदमी वाले बीजेपी को बोल रहे हैं ना, तो ये सोल्यूशन कभी नहीं निकलेगा। हम हर एक को एक साथ खड़े रह के हमें ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना।
With pollution levels lingering in the severe category, Delhi is struggling for fresh air. I'm standing.
Welcome back. This is The Nation at 5. We're now bringing you coverage from the elections as they've just started. Mizoram and Chhattisgarh, which of course saw the first of 2 phases. Chhattisgarh in particular has 90 seats, 20 of which went into voting today itself. These seats were largely in the Bastar region, a tribal-dominated, Naxal-affected area. My colleague Arunima has been providing us with ground report after ground report from villages, some of which have their residents voting for the first time ever. Now we bring you more context from each of these stories. First, this next report comes in from a village in the Sukma area. This is a village where a journalist was actually shot dead by Naxals years ago. There's much fear that still remains. My colleague Arunima spoke to villagers about how they feel today. Take a look.
CRPF patrolling party is coming from Kuakonda. This is the entire road that has been patrolled. They're traveling with their equipments, with their ammunitions. You can see these are equipments meant to really probe the road. They're also carrying guns. Really an area domination, so to say. And you will see such parties traveling across this area. Sukma has seen at least 3 incidents since this morning. One CRPF Jawan, got injured when an IED went off this morning. Subsequently, they were probing fires, which DRG retaliated. There was also attempt to really use a grenade launcher to deter the voters from coming. So these area dominations and these patrollings are meant to give that sense of confidence to the voters that forces are here to take care of them. Forces are constantly keeping an eye on the ground and they have nothing to fear. And the reports that we are getting from Sukma, from Bijapur, from Dantewada are also encouraging numbers that in spite of Naxals attempting to carry out these IED blasts, people are coming out to vote, and that's the encouraging story from these parts. We'll try and get you more voices, but for now let's show you once again how this patrolling party from Kuakonda walking on this road towards Palnar is ensuring area domination. आपका वोट यही पड़ता है अरबे में, यहाँ कैसा माहौल है वोटिंग का?
वोटिंग का माहौल ठीक है मैडम।
ठीक है जी। आप लोगों के मुद्दे क्या है, क्या समस्याएं हैं आप लोगों की यहाँ पे?
हम लोग को समस्या तो बहुत सारे हैं,
एक दो बताइए।
रोड है, हॉस्पिटल है, और धान की कीमत बढ़नी चाहिए। कर्जा माफी तो हम चाहेंगे नहीं। कर्जा माफी, छोटे छोटे किसान तो कर्जा लेते नहीं, बड़े किसान लेते हैं। हमको कर्जा से कोई मतलब नहीं, हमको लाभ मिले सरकारी योजनाओं का।
सरकारी योजनाओं का लाभ।
जी।
तो इस साल ये जो 5 साल गुजरे हैं, इनमें सरकारी योजनाओं का कोई लाभ आपको मिला है?
नहीं मिला।
नहीं मिला है
जी।
और आपके यहाँ आने के लिए सड़क भी ठीक नहीं है?
जी।
आप नीलाभैया से यहाँ तक आए हैं, आप बता रहे थे कि 7-8 किलोमीटर चलना पड़ता है और नदी भी क्रॉस करनी पड़ती है।
दूरी तो 7-8 किलोमीटर लगता है मैम, तो उसमें समस्या लगता है।
हाँ। और नदी भी पार करनी पड़ती है?
जी 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 जी।
तो क्या नाव से?
नहीं, चावल लेने के लिए अरबी आते हैं जुलाई में, उसमें हम लोग आ नहीं पाते हैं।
हाँ।
क्योंकि नदी वहाँ भर जाती है, तो ये पब्लिक को आने में दिक्कत जाता है।
समस्या ज्यादा, रोड की ठिकाना नहीं आ पाए हो, और बीच में कर्ज माफी बोले थे सरकार ने, वो कर्ज माफी हुआ नहीं है, छोटे छोटे किसान तो लिए नहीं है।
First phase of voting in Chhattisgarh has begun with 20 seats going to vote, 8 in Rajnandgaon area, 12 in Bastar. The security that you see behind me in the school of Arbe, which has become the polling center for 705 voters from nearby areas, including the Naxal-affected village of Nilavaya. This is really showing you what kind of security bandobast is required. In Bijapur, Naxals had thrown pamphlets threatening poll officials, but thankfully Bijapur has not seen a major incident so far. In Sukma, however, 2 incidents happened this morning when the polling party was out with CRPF carrying out area domination. An IED blast injured 1 CRPF personnel. His ankle is badly injured, likely to be taken to Raipur for treatment. In Kanker, another key constituency, there were at least 2 incidents of Naxals firing. Narayanpur, which is like the gateway to Abujmar. Abujmar is the main forest where the Naxals live and they carry out their camps. So in Narayanpur also, there was an attempt to stop voting at one of the polling booths, but retaliation forced the Naxals to retreat. First round of elections saw 17 go to Congress, and then subsequent by-elections, including by-election in Dantewada, ensured that Congress's total tally became 19 out of 20. The only seat which went to BJP was Dr. Raman Singh's seat of Rajnandgaon.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Delhi continues to remain under a thick blanket of smoke and the air quality index is still in the severe category. The Supreme Court today posed several questions to the Aam Aadmi Party government, both in Punjab and in Delhi, over farm fires and deteriorating air quality in the national capital. The Apex Court also passed several directives to the states bordering Delhi-NCR to stop stubble burning immediately, to take immediate steps to curtail air pollution. In fact, the court even called the odd-even scheme announced for the post-Diwali week in the national capital by the Delhi government a mere spectacle. Soon after, Delhi government's environmental ministry went into a huddle. They've said they will consider the directives of the top court while finalizing